Good evening and welcome to Cardiff for live coverage of the Netball Europe Open Championships 2017. This weekend's competition sees England, Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland joined for the first time by Fiji, who are playing their first international netball since 2015. We'll have live coverage of every match across social media and BBC Sport. So, wherever you are in the world, welcome to this weekend of netball. We hope you enjoy the event over the next few days. And remember, join our netball conversation on Twitter using our hashtag NetballEuropeOpen. I'm Lynn Carpenter with you for this last game here on day 2 of the Open, with England taking on Northern Ireland. And I'm really pleased to be joined in commentary by Jerry Maguire, Head of Netball Development for Netball Scotland. So welcome, Jerry.
Thanks, Lynn.
This is our 5th game of the Open, so almost halfway through the weekend. Second time on court today for England, and Northern Ireland were last up last night with a real cliffhanger of a game, taking the match against Wales by 1. What do you think we can expect from this evening's game?
Well, I think it'll be a corker of a game again, Lynn. We've seen England in action today, and if anyone can play 2 games in the one day, it is England. They're exceptionally fit young athletes out on court, but I'm sure they'll have taken a lot of learnings from this morning, and they'll be ready to bring the game again against Northern Ireland. What a game last night, going down to the last goal, and all credit to Ireland nailing that and winning by 1, but they'll be out to prove a point today again.
So do you think in what you've seen of the 2 teams so far there's been any standout players in either of the 2?
I think if we look at the shooting from England, looking at young Georgie Fisher, 17 out of 17, I think it may have been in the last quarter this morning. That's fantastic, to still on the final 15 minutes to be able to have that consistency under the pressure of that Scotland defence. It was amazing, really well done.
And of course last night the Northern Ireland shooters were really on form. Where do you think the game will be won or lost this evening?
I think Ireland need to stick to their own game plan, don't be drawn into the speed and the power of the English athletes. We're all very respectful of what they're bringing to this game, but it's very, very important for the opposition teams to stick to their game plan and do what they do best.
And as the viewers at home can see, the teams are beginning to take to the court now. So let's just tell you the starting 7 for England. At goal shooter, Ellie Cardwell. Goal attack, Natalie Haythornthwaite. At wing attack, their centre, Sasha Corbin. At centre, Gabby Marshall. In at wing defence, Jodie Gibson. At goal defence, Vicky Osler and Summer Artman in at goalkeeper for England. So now let's take a quick look at the Northern Ireland side. Starting at goal shooter, we have Lisa Bowman. In at goal attack, that's sister Kyla Bowman. Wing attack, Sarah Montgomery. Caroline O'Hanlon takes to court at centre and is captain for Northern Ireland. Wing defence, Niamh Cooper. Goal defence, Nolene Lennon. And at goalkeeper, Emma Lawler. So really strong lineup from both teams there, Jerry.
Yeah, very strong, and some fresh legs on court. Summer Artman coming onto court will be really good to see what she brings to the game. Artman and Oisola work very, very well together, and we've got a dominant centre and captain in the Northern Ireland team there who'll be driving our team forward here from the outset.
So as you can see, we are just now waiting for the umpires to start the game. Taking to the court for Team White tonight, we have Alison Davis from Wales and Nadine Pardazamit from Gibraltar. So here we go, and now is a hopefully very exciting netball tonight.
Really looking forward to this one, Lynn. Each team are out to prove a point. They're all world ranking games, so it's so important that each team put their ultimate performance out there from the get-go.
And we see Artman having an immediate impact on the game. Good turnover. England bringing the ball down quickly. Good in and out to Haythornthwaite.
It's a bit of a trademark move that for Haythornthwaite. The speed and accuracy she does it with is excellent.
So Northern Ireland will be disappointed they gave their first centre pass away. Cardwell very strong in there. Again at goal shooter for England.
And you can see the speed of Caroline O'Hanlon in that drive into pocket, but unfortunately just not being able to nail the pass into her shooting team.
Good turnover there. Again by Northern Ireland. Read very well into Bowman. Some early nerves there, I think, in the shooting end.
Yeah, she'll be a bit disappointed with that, Bowman, but her teammate's able to win the ball back for her.
And that takes Northern Ireland onto the score sheet for the first time, 2-1 here in this first quarter, the Netball Europe Open Championships in Cardiff. There's been some really good, strong movement by England down the court today, and they're really starting where they finished the last game.
Yeah, they are indeed, and they're very, very well-drilled units all through this England team. But there's a strong, experienced defence from Northern Ireland, and I think it'll take them their time to get the mark of Ellie Cardwell in there. But hopefully, they put a lot of pressure on that holding position she takes.
Very good finish there by Bowman as England bring the ball down. Corbin trying to thread the eye of a needle there through to the two Northern Ireland defenders.
Yeah, and it was a good tip by Lennon over the top there, Lynn.
Northern Ireland attack there, really not reading Artman's ability to move in defence. Very clinical down to the other end under the post to Cardwell. 4-2 to England. 3 minutes just gone in this first quarter.
Well, that's an excellent move by Haythornthwaite. She took the drive to the top of the circle and swung the ball out to her pocket in her wing attack.
Few unforced errors in there at the moment. Gibson bringing the ball out. Gabby Marshall in the centre for this one. Just changed her Super League affiliation as such. Been a Northern Thunder player for many a year and now starts the season at Mavericks.
Yeah, it's good to see these young players. It's an excellent idea to go and work with different coaching teams, different combinations. It's only going to strengthen our game in the long run, so I wish her all the best this season.
Oh, great vision there. Fantastic overlap into Cardwell. 6-2 England lead. Bowman took that really well with the pressure from Artman at the back. Great rebound.
A little fortunate there to win the rebound, but pressure still piling on by Artman, and finally wins the ball back for England.
The shooters will be disappointed with that because they played really strong, consistent shoot in the circle last night against Wales. So maybe a few nerves against England, perhaps.
A few nerves, and certainly you'd be expecting your shooters at that short range to nail the goals.
So they get another opportunity. Bowman managed to score this time. We've had nearly 5 minutes of this first quarter gone. Haythornthwaite.
A bit of misunderstanding there from Marshall feeding the ball into Haythornthwaite.
It's a good quick transition down the court. Good shot, so a bit closer now in this one, 6-4. Hartman not quite getting around cleanly to that ball. Again, a missed shot.
Yeah, it's not like Bowman. She's taking a bit longer to settle, and I think her coach's team would be looking for her to do.
A little bit of
just took her eye off the ball there.
Sasha heard the whistle and the wing attack turned away, and unfortunately Vicky Osler was still giving her the ball there. Haythornthwaite though shows how it's done at the other end of the court. 7-4. England lead against Northern Ireland. Nice use of the triangle. What we've seen over the years with Haythornthwaite is her real ability to cut the front of the circle and pull the defender and either get the ball, shoot it and score, or to create space for a goal shooter.
Absolutely, it's classic and it's great for young people watching and the live streaming today. Just focus on that. If you're a goal attack, wing attack, it's fantastic work she does. The speed is fantastic, pinpoint accuracy with the movement and passing.
Now, we don't always talk about Team White and our umpires, but it's great to see Nadine Pardit-Zammit on the court representing Gibraltar there on the far side.
Yeah, we're delighted Scotland, Netball Scotland be buddy up with Netball Gibraltar, and it's been great to watch Nadine's journey and delighted for her to be recognised on the international stage now. She's worked really hard.
Oh. It's a good recovery by Northern Ireland there, but you do wonder sometimes when the shooter takes that step whether they've been better off leaving their feet anchored.
Absolutely. Yeah, I totally agree with that, Lynn.
So pressure in the circle there by Lennon, forcing a turnover on footwork. Centre and Hamlin with the ball.
Just run out of options there, just none of our attacking teammates coming to help out.
Really quick footwork and hands again by Haythornthwaite. England just pulling ahead slightly here, 9-5 to them. 6.5 minutes left on the clock.
Oh, Sola just been penalised there for using her hands, feeling for the player.
Better from Bowman on that one. So England centre pass. Hardwell takes the long one. Good choice there by Corbin. Two options in the circle.
Yeah, it was a great choice. You know, to use the back player, just have that vision to see over the player that's driving at you, because actually Cardle was in a much better position to nail the shot. So good choice by Corbin.
So Lennon supporting in attack. The two Bowman sisters in there, goal shooter, goal attack.
Yeah, it's a well tried and tested combination, the Bowman sisters, and that's better from Gemma, is that Lisa? Sorry, Lisa nailing the longer
Lisa
shot
Bowman,
there.
yeah,
so it's given her a bit of confidence.
Great vision there. It's always a difficult balance to know when to come out and commit as a defender for that ball, to leave your post exposed.
Yeah, and we've seen quite a bit of that actually. The Fiji keeper, it's taken her a bit of time to get her eye in. She's going for the flyer in some of the games we've watched, and it's just all about getting your timing right.
So offside in the circle. Hartman brings the ball down. Finds Gibson out to wing defence. Marshall. That was really well read there by the Northern Ireland goalkeeper, Lawler. You just sense it a little bit that you just want someone to get a hold of the game, get a little bit of control in there. Yeah, both teams are doing some really good things, but then just that last minute.
Yeah, I think you hear some of the coaches saying, make it work. When you get that turnover ball and you steal it, just treasure it in possession. And we've seen too many times someone winning the ball and it's just not going through all the way to goal. So just a little bit of composure needed.
Corbin doing what she does well, finding the shooters in the circle. Great shot by Cardwell.
Yeah, and that's what you want your wing attack centre. First choice, look in the circle. If it's on, put the ball through.
Hanlon just trying to slot it through to Kyla Bowman.
It's been a little bit scrappy and been a bit fortunate there in Northern Ireland, but great feed in from a Hanlon under the post to Lisa Bowman, and she doesn't make any mistake that time.
So 13-8, England lead Northern Ireland here in this first quarter with 3 minutes left on the clock. What can the Northern Ireland defence do? Worked hard but still managed to slot it into Cardwell. Alison Davis, the Welsh umpire there, testing wing defence for England. Gibson had contacted, but unfortunately Northern Ireland just didn't control the ball well enough.
Yeah, I think Artman's working really, really well. She's forcing Lisa Bowman onto that back line. It's putting pressure on the attack and Northern Ireland attack to feed it in.
Really pinpointed accuracy on that centre pass from England. Now opening up a double lead on Northern Ireland, 16-8, as we enter the last 2 minutes of this first quarter.
Just seeing the timing out there between Bowman and the Hanlon. Just need to readjust that to ensure the ball reaches the goal shooter. It's a lovely ball up to Marshall.
England are using that long ball transition really, really effectively, pulling the short pass, given the option, but actually utilising that long ball.
It's good support in the transverse line by Gibson.
Corbin used her backspace really well. Picked up really well by Nolene Lennon. Northern Ireland bring it down. Bowman. She finds sister in there. We had an offside, I think it was.
Yeah.
Oh, oops. That felt like one too many steps, but
yeah, I think there was the audience would agree there. Bit of an ooh.
It was good take by Cardwell, but straight to Hanlon, who was aware. Ready for that. Oof. Ooh. That was unfortunate again on that shooting.
I think they're just rushing the shot, you know, when I think they're getting the ball so close under post. It isn't an easy shot. Some people think that is the easy one, so close range, but just need to steady and focus.
Like that.
Like that. A bit of height. Nice and the whoosh we're looking for.
So there we go, the end of that first quarter. England take a bit of a commanding lead against Northern Ireland so far, 17 goals to 9. So as the teams head to their benches, so let's talk about Northern Ireland first. So Jerry, if you were down there on the bench, what would you be thinking about doing?
Yeah, I think the shooters need a little bit of TLC at this point. They need a good refocus, regroup, start again. You know, they've missed quite a number of shots there, which has had a big impact. You know, they're 8 goals behind here. They've probably missed 4 or 5 absolute sitters that you would have been expecting them to nail. So that's an issue that needs sorted. I'm sure one of the coaching team will be focusing on that, getting that confidence back there. Well, Hanlon is driving it, but the timing's off. You know, she's there. Her speed is fantastic, but yeah, the Bowman sisters just are not where she needs them to be, and they've forced a few back balls off the back line there, so that's the main focus I would be putting on there.
So it'll be interesting to see if we see any substitutions from Northern Ireland. They almost need to rethink a little bit, because 8 goes down after the first quarter. they need to do something to stop that momentum
Absolutely,
that England are building up already. So England have been pretty solid on the court overall. Some great movement in attack, real pressure from the defenders.
Yeah, and all credit to the young, the back two year Artman and Oyosola. They are putting pressure on. These are established and well experienced Northern Ireland shooters, so these young girls coming in here and putting the pressure on, they are forcing the backline ball. They've upset their shooting routine, so they're doing a great job in there. I'm sure the England coaching team will be pleased with that. Natalie Haythornthwaite, I think she's standing out up the front here. Our drives and our movement, our timing, she's only missed maybe 1 or 2 shots, but she's been dominant in attack for me.
And it's that rotation that England do so well, not only within the circle between the girl attack and goal shooter, but it's how they're using the triangle, popping
Absolutely.
back to the third if they need to. Their timing is really good, and they're reacting really quickly if that forward ball isn't on.
Yeah, there's been a few times, the pass has gone astray, but there's always some in a red dress backing up and going and scooping it up. You're absolutely right. There's been very few times they've had to play back to the transfers, but they're not going to waste ball. They'll do it if they have to. Triangle works phenomenal.
And of course, the tournament here is really important to all the teams. Our 4 UK countries all ranked 12 in the world, which is a credit to all the effort that goes into
Absolutely.
the sport here in the region. And all 4 teams heading to the Gold Coast in Australia in a matter of months, so April heading down there. So something really exciting. And I guess all these players will have a focus on who are going to be the lucky 12 for each team who find
Absolutely.
their way to Australia.
It's huge, each player here at this tournament have probably played their part. We have got some young, athletes out in court that are just fresh out the Commonwealth Games, and you will see teams taking that youth. It's a really good place to expose your youth if you can. But every single one of them is out to earn a dress at the Commonwealth Games.
Absolutely.
It's the ultimate.
And of course, none of the teams can rest on their laurels and think they've got 6 months between now and the Commonwealth
not.
Games, because in January we head to Perth in Scotland for the World Netball Cup qualifiers, and whilst the qualifiers are for the competition the following year, so we're a year and a half ahead, England already qualified because they're ranked 3rd in the world and are also the host. So that means our other 3 teams, who are all ranked in the top 12 in the world, have to play off for 2 teams.
Absolutely.
For the remaining 2 places.
Yeah, and I think as a region we should be so proud. We've got 4 teams in the top 12 and they all merit being there. We've just seen 2 of them take out the 8th team in the world, and all credit. It's great to see Fiji here, and I'm sure they're in a building phase and we totally respect that, but for our Northern Ireland and Scotland to already beat an 8th ranked team, and possibly one of them, or Wales, are not going to be in the world stage, it's so disappointing for us as a region, and it's something we'll look to keep working towards.
So here we go, the second quarter starting here in Cardiff. So Northern Ireland with the first centre pass, having turned over on their first in the first 15. Let's see if they're able to.
Yeah, and we've got a few changes on court there, Lynn. We'll see McCullough coming on at goal attack. I think that's probably a good move. We've also got a new wing attack on, Michelle Drain, who's very experienced. We've got Finola Toner on at goal defence. So yeah, they've obviously moved Nolene Lennon back. She's in at goalkeeper.
So probably not surprising. We've seen them
not surprising
running the changes here for Northern Ireland.
No changes for England.
And again, first centre pass for Northern Ireland, turned over and lost that opportunity to.
Yeah, and they'll not be happy with that. That's your bread and butter. You want to come out strong, make your mark and get a goal on the board in your first centre pass.
So the intention was there. She saw the ball.
It was too slow to make the move.
But Hartman was very well aware of that one.
Fortunate, they've won it back, got the ball through to Gemma, and we've got Lisa Bowman and the goal on the board.
That's better pressure on and off the ball by Northern Ireland. They're making it a bit more difficult for England to bring the ball down. And they've gone for a bit more height match up there with Nolene Lennon against Ellie Cardwell.
Yeah, that's a sensible move. Nolene's a highly experienced. She's had Com Games World Cup experience behind her, so yeah, it's a good competition in there for Cardwell now. It's a bit of a heavy fall, but she's made of tough stuff.
Hanlon's up again. There's McCulloch. Unfortunate. Again, good pressure by the whole Northern Ireland team here, making it difficult to bring the ball down, forcing the long passes in.
Absolutely. If you look at the amount of passes that's taken to get through to Cardwell this time, it's a big difference from the first quarter. Then we were seeing 1-2 and in.
Lennon picks up the rebound. And so Hanlon. Good long ball into Lisa Bowman, but great timing on the jump there by Summer Artman.
A bit fortunate there, McCulloch. Isola just saw it just a little too late.
So the gap stays at 8 for this moment in time. 20 goals England, 12 Northern Ireland. Again, just a little bit scrappy in parts, isn't it?
Yeah, I think you've got new combinations on, which also mean new opponents for the English team. So a bit scrappy on both sides just now. They'll be both looking to settle really quickly. And we've got 4 minutes of this quarter going, so 4 minutes to read your new opponent and see what's their strengths and what's their weaknesses.
They're looking for that long ball into Cardwell.
Yeah, I think Lennon was just caught with her head down there. I think she should just had her vision up a little bit. Lynch could have gone for the long flyer there.
So if we're reflecting on the first quarter there in terms of the shooting, I think it was roughly 9 from 17 for Northern Ireland. It felt like that actually in the game. Quite a few of the shots missed. Down the other end, Cardwell 13 from 14 and Haythornthwaite 4 from 7.
Yeah, that's a huge difference. If we look at the percentages line, you've got England shooting at 80% and 53% from Northern Ireland. That's not what they need. So absolutely right decision with the coaching team. We need to change that shooting combination.
Lennon is working really hard to get that front ball now to put pressure on the long one in, and actually did a really good interception there. So Northern Ireland recognised that ball going into Cardwell was going in too easily. She was getting clean shots. Una McCulloch in a goal attack here for Northern Ireland. Good confident shot. So with just over 5 minutes gone here and 10 to go to half time, England are leading 22-14, but it's all even in this quarter. So better start to this quarter by Northern Ireland.
Absolutely, yeah, and considering this is the same England team that have played the first quarter, I think England would be looking for them to push on, not to be, going a little bit backwards here. But all credit to Northern Ireland. They've changed the game tactics and they're doing a really good job. That's a great stretch. Just unfortunate it fell in at the last second there.
Nice pop back to Cardwell. So great pressure on the line there by England.
Yeah, that's 2 in a row. O'Hanlon's having to play the centre pass back because Michelle Drain's just not been able to make that breakthrough at the centre pass.
Well, she hesitated slightly there, Bowman, and wasn't sure, but put it up with confidence. 23-16, so the gap down to 7 now.
It's a lovely take by Haythornthwaite. That ball handling by Cardwell there.
So Northern Ireland again. It's that second and third ball pressure that England are putting on, which is making it really difficult for Northern Ireland to get down into attack. But they find Bowman. Good rebound by Hartman.
She was really well positioned there. Took it nice and clean. I just saw Isola playing the ball behind Gibson there.
Good shot by Bowman. So halfway through this second quarter, 24-17. You almost wonder if Northern Ireland had come out in the first quarter and put that little bit more pressure on. We can always wonder.
You can always wonder. Could have been a different 15 minutes. You know, all credit to the coaching team. They've changed things up and they've obviously given some really key messages, and the players have learned from what they've experienced in the first quarter. And that's much more confident by Lisa Bowman there. Good job.
And that's still with all that pressure in the defending circle by England there. Oisler and Artman really working well at the back. Well taken by Corbin. And again, it's the decision making which is really impressive.
Absolutely, the speed of it is first class. Good job.
Waite rightly pleased with that shot. But England are not having it all their own way this quarter. Northern Ireland drawing up to now. Unfortunate forced error there.
Just a late take-off there by Haythornthwaite, so called for footwork.
Really won the ball back. You can see the transition in most of the teams here at this level, that from attack to defence and back again has to be so quick because the movement of the ball is so...
Absolutely. And that's something that's drilled well in training, you know, that how do we transition to stealing the ball and putting it into our attack.
Good positioning and vision there into Cardwell.
Such a strong hold in the ball, Cardwell.
(27-18), England lead. When you've got such a versatile player as Cardwell, who can hold the front space, hold the back, take the ball over the head, move around the circle, makes it really difficult for the defence to know exactly the best position to do.
She's a really very valuable player for England at the moment.
So good interception by McCullough.
Yeah, I think she just changed the timing in her own shot there because she was anticipating what Artman would do, and it did cause her to miss the shot when she finally put it up.
Great shot again. England centre pass. Corbin seemed a little bit surprised at that call.
I think she might be the only one who's a little bit surprised. Oh, that's a great feed in from McCullough.
Good understanding between the goal shooter now. 10 goals in it. Heading down to the last 3 minutes or so in this game. Oh. Bowman slots that one in to take Northern Ireland to 20. It's a little bit too much on that one to Haythornthwaite. But Northern Ireland are going to have a go doing the same.
Yeah, that was a great read by Gibson.
There you go, that front cut again that Haythornthwaite uses so well. Great play between McCullough and Bowman. Ireland a bit more patient in that attack.
Good read by Fionnuala Toner.
Now, a number of these players, obviously, in the England team playing the Super League. Some of the Northern Ireland squad do. Is part of the difference we see that level of regular competition that some of the teams get and others don't, do you think?
I think it has to be. Yeah, you can see the difference that week to week. You know, for world-class elite competition, even the environment these girls are training in on a week-to-week basis and facing up against each other at that level of competition, it definitely has an impact.
Really nice interplay there, without any pressure between Corbin and Haythornthwaite. 10 goals in it now, leading into the last minute and a half until we take a break. Yeah. I think Northern Ireland thought that was their goal because it came off Artman. Nice cut to the baseline there, and again, watch the Northern Ireland defenders be doing there, because that front cut is coming almost consistently every single time now in the attack for England.
It is a really, really difficult one. You know, Haythornthwaite's timing is impeccable, her speed is first class. They really have to cut this pass off further up the court.
That just happened there.
Exactly.
So last minute of the game as the clock ticks down. Hardwell makes no mistakes, give them a little bit more breathing space. So it's been only a 3-goal game this quarter between the two sides.
Ireland will be really impressed with this quarter.
Very cool by Bowman there with pressure by Artman. England still have plenty of time with 15 on the clock. Good pressure by Northern Ireland. The umpires are really alive to stopping the clock in these last few seconds, making sure the game goes.
Absolutely, because you know we can have that tactical wasting time by the opponent, but umpires are really doing a good job with that one.
So it is 33 goals to England against Northern Ireland's 22 here at half-time in the last game today of the second day in Cardiff at the Netball Europe Open Championships. A really good quarter from Northern Ireland in that 15, Jerry.
Yeah, really good decisions by the coaching team to change things up and get, you know, fresh legs on, change the combinations, and you know, really put pressure. The whole team put pressure on the England attack, which was great. It made them force a lot more ball, make a lot more passes. With a lot more passes, you've got a lot more chances of getting an interception, so they certainly brought the game out to England.
So, watching the game here this weekend is somebody that the viewers at home will know very well. I'm now joined in commentary by Tracy Neville. Tracy, welcome.
Thank you.
Good game so far this evening. 2 quarters very different. England came out really strong in that first quarter, but Northern Ireland pegged it back in the second. Only 3 goals difference in there. What did you think when you were watching that game?
I think it's 2 different games as well. Obviously, the improvement from this morning is, you know, that's what we expect from our England team. I think we come out, great start by the girls, got interceptions. I think we have got a few tired bodies out there. Obviously, no one expects to play 2 games in one day, but, you know, they're used to training this hard. I think the difference in that second quarter, I think Northern Ireland obviously put on did some key changes which just changed the dynamics of the attacking end. They had probably a little bit more off the body that we didn't quite adapt to, that they took more ball off us. And I do think that at the moment we're just not clinical enough. We are turning ball over, but we're just not clinical enough in getting it through the court, and I think we need to get better at that, and that probably found us out a little bit this morning against Scotland.
So especially in some of those really close games that you're going to have when that pressure is on, where every ball counts and every kind of conversion to go is going to be really important. Clearly these players here have got an opportunity to be impressing you, ready for the competition next year. Everyone's focused on that trip to Australia. what are you looking for in terms of the kind of squad you want to take to that competition?
I think the key thing for me, and I think everyone loses sight of it, is the World Cup's my obviously key goal. And there's some probably key individuals across the whole 7 positions on this court that are vital for me going into that World Cup. Obviously the interim short goal obviously is Australia, and again, you know, there's some girls here that didn't actually get an opportunity at Quad Series, so they're lacking that little bit of international experience. But also, more importantly for me, you know, this is the chance for them to show leadership, to shine at this competition, but also play against some very strong nations of ranked 7 down. And you know, there's some, like the Northern Ireland team, you know, this is a very experienced team, and they're a dogged team, and they'll catch you when you're on your weakest. And if we'd have started like we did this morning, these girls had a lesson to learn. And I think that is what the coaches reiterated to them in the meeting. You know, we are an England team. You are getting caps for England, and we expect a better performance from you. And Northern Ireland will take you at your weakest. So I think they have come out here with a better mentality. I think they are sticking to game plan and sticking to task a lot better. And again, Lynn, like this team, they've been together in 3 training sessions. They've not had a coach here because obviously the visa, so they have been shaken up a little bit, but I think they've adapted really well. And from this morning there's been some massive learnings. I'm just really proud with the first half, and I hope we can continue this.
And of course, you were saying about Northern Ireland. Northern Ireland come out playing a slightly different game. They're moving off the body a little bit more, giving the England players something to think about, which, you know, to give them credit, is exactly what they should have been doing. First half, we had a quick look at the stats. Artman and Gibson in that circle putting massive pressure on the Northern Ireland shooters to start with. 50% shooting from Northern Ireland, and the defenders and the court player defenders have to take some credit for that.
Yeah, and I think one of the main things for Northern Ireland, you know, having Bowman back there, who, you know, she props well, she gets the ball and she doesn't normally miss. And I think one of the key things really is, one, if you work hard enough for your ball, you then start to miss as a shooter, as you know. And also if the feeds come in from longer, so one of the key things for us, which again we didn't do this morning, was let's keep them away from the circle, because then they've got to work the ball harder. And you know, I know Caroline Hanlon's probably one of their massive link players in that centre position, and actually she can't do it all on her own, and I think that's something that the girls in that defensive area have corrected from this morning, and they know that performance that they put out, particularly in that defensive end this morning, was not great. Our attack, you know, it's hard. You know, we converted 75% of our centre passes this morning. That's what it takes to win performance, but if you're not getting enough ball of it, you're not going to do well in the games. And yeah, and it's great for us.
Yeah, and I remember Waitamunu giving us some words of wisdom a number of years ago as players, which is that netball is a really simple game. Yeah. Keep the ball on your centre passes, get it to your shooters and shoot. Turn over the ball once or twice for the whole of the game for the opposition, and that's the game of netball. But we sometimes overcomplicate it.
I think sometimes as well, when you put the red dress on, and probably when you play internationally, like, you know, you think you have to do something more than the basics of the game. And you look at the best teams in the world, and obviously we've just been playing against them. They're very clinical, they're very consistent, and they get the ball from A to B. You don't really see a lot of flashness. It's more what they do is they wear you down over that 60 minutes, and I think that is something that these girls need to learn. They haven't, you know, and I think this competition is a great competition for some of our players to develop that leadership for our coaching team as well. And more importantly, you know, the home nations, you know, I've been watching them over the last 2 years and how much they've developed, how much they're putting into their netball. You know, I was really impressed with Scotland this morning. I think Northern Ireland's win over Wales yesterday was a massive shock to our home nations, but what we want to create is competition, you know, in this region as well. And I think, you know, we've got some hard games coming up, and what we saw yesterday with the Welsh team, we know we're not going to get when we play on Sunday. So I think it's just exciting as we go through, and I think it's all shook up this year, and there's not just a known winner.
And I think having someone like Fiji here who haven't played international netball for 2.5 years, and you can see their confidence growing in the second game they played today compared with yesterday. Clearly they're not physically as fit as teams who've been playing before, but again you kind of sense that this kind of competition is exactly what those teams need, and exposing our UK countries to that different style can only help, surely, when it comes to some of the international competitions.
Yeah, and the benefit of us, Fiji being obviously over here for this tournament, is not only do these group of players that are on the bench, but they go out against, as we call, the Quad Series group on Tuesday. They're coming into our England camp, and I think it's about developing netball as a whole, and how much, and I've spoke to obviously Vicky Wilson while she's been here. What can we do to support you while we're here? Because this job's tough enough when you've got the right support staff, but when you haven't got the correct support staff around you, then it makes your job so much harder as a head coach. So I think, Fiji, they've got so much flair, and I think again they're a team that I think after a good international calendar, I think there'll be a different team at Commonwealth Games. So it's nice to just keep your eye on them teams that are lower ranked as well.
So know what's coming up. So Tracy, thank you very much.
Thank you.
So here we go. We're about to start the third quarter. Back on court, as I said before, England are leading Northern Ireland by still quite a narrow margin, 33-22. Definitely the match is not over. Huge amount to play for.
Absolutely, and we're looking just down on court just now and see if there's any more changes, and we can see for Northern Ireland the introduction of probably quite possibly the youngest player at this tournament, Michelle McGee's come on to goal defence. She's just fresh from Botswana at the World Youth Champs. Fionnuala Toner's gone out onto the wing at wing defence, and the rest of our Northern Ireland squad remain the same. You see Panagari coming on to centre for England, and Marsha has gone on to take the wing defence position, with Gibson slotting back to goal defence.
So both teams running a few changes there, as we said. Michelle McGee we've known for many years at Netball Europe. She's come through the age group ranks quite frequently at tournaments. Again, we see her with her sister on the court as well.
Yeah, it's always a family affair at netball. Yeah, she's been one to watch, as you say, Lynn. We've watched her over the last few seasons at under 17s, and just it's excellent to see these young players breaking their way through the ranks and getting her senior cap. I'm not quite sure if this is her first or not, but it's lovely to watch her out here with a really experienced Northern Ireland team around her.
And we were saying about the game being much closer in that second half, and if we take a quick look at the shooting stats, well, England had 80% in the first quarter, 16 from 17 in that quarter with just one goal missed, so 94%. But down the other end, Northern Ireland improved from their 53% in the first quarter, 13 out of 16, so 81%. It felt closer as a result of that as well.
It felt closer, and that's much better. And actually, if you look at the attempts, 17 for England, 16 for Northern Ireland, that's exactly what the game looked like and felt like. And all credit to Northern Ireland for bringing the ball through much more often.
So here we are, 35-25. England centre pass. Toner having an impact immediately there at new position. There's a great feed in there, finding Bowman. Should please that one dropped. And there we go, down to 9. Great call and great vision.
Yeah, that was really patient by Drain there. We actually saw her just taking a moment and looking about, see her options, and finally finding the long ball.
Pressure on England's centre pass there by Northern Ireland, forcing the ball back. Marshall finds Corbin. Again, you can see Corbin looking at all those options and saying, no, not quite, yep, that's the one.
Yep, just pinpoint accuracy and picking out the right pass. It's the experience she's brought to this team.
Good to see her back from her injury and recovered and
absolutely
playing as well as ever.
Yeah, I'm sure she's worked really hard in her rehab, and all credit to her. She's a delightful player, very athletic.
But none of us will forget that flick-flack and back somersault.
Absolutely.
I think it was against Australia a few years ago.
It was back in Bath. I was down myself watching it that day, and the two sisters graced the court with her gymnastic display at the end. It was amazing to see.
Nathan Thwaite finds Cardwell. Manages to put it away. 37 plays 27. Corbin pops it over. Fantastic reach and that ability and strength of her to bring the ball in. But great turnover, Northern Ireland. Patient build-up of Hanlon. Good shot by Lisa Bowman. Takes the lead back down to single figures, 37-28.
Well, that was a lovely move by Jane again. Just she lost Marshall in the first move and drive straight to the top of the circle.
So Northern Ireland's confidence, you can see, is growing on the court. That was a great drive through there by Panangari. So as Tracy was saying at half time, there's pressure on every ball, the ability to make sure you don't turn over. If you do turn over, to be back picking it up. And that's a really difficult choice for a defender, isn't it? Hartman saw it, but it was the timing
Absolutely.
of the commitment which was just perhaps slightly too late. So 37 plays 30. And since Northern Ireland's confidence growing.
Oh, that was fantastic work by Bowman.
Clever choice. So we're into the last 10 minutes of the third quarter here. Day 2, game 5, and it's a tight one. England playing Northern Ireland. A mere 7 goals in it at this point. You can see Natalie Haythornthwaite there just indicating to her team, let's keep it down,
let's refocus and play the game we know.
Defenders now doubling up there, but McCulloch still found Bowman under the post.
Yeah, it was great confidence by Northern Ireland there to feed that in, because it was a 2-on-1 in Bowman, but she held it really strong.
There you go. Good shooter to shooter understanding there in the circle. 39 plays 32. McCulloch. You can see that Artman is just trying to tempt them to put that ball in. They're not quite sure whether the space is there, but it wasn't on that occasion. So good pressure by England.
Yeah, and that's exactly what they're trying to do, force that long ball, force the indecision. Oh, great tip by a Hanlon.
Oh. This is both drawing a breath.
Yeah, it's just, it possibly was on, but needed threaded through the eye of the needle.
Again, the speed with England bring the ball down. Corbin. And Gary.
And you can see the position Corbin takes up at the top of that circle. There's just pinpoint accuracy, driving straight onto the top of the circle, means no defence in front of her and clear vision into the shooters.
Great choice again by Corbin. 41-32. 7 minutes of the third quarter remaining here in Cardiff. Bit of a misunderstanding there between O'Hanlon and McCulloch. Gives England an opportunity. I don't think either of them realise they hadn't got the ball.
100% commitment.
Great reach, Nolene Lennon.
Fabulous, yeah. Very, very strong core. She holds it really, really well. Just out her hands there.
Slightly late on that one. But I think that's just the effort that the players are putting in and really committing to every interception, pressure on every ball. 43-32, so 2 centre passes England have taken off Northern Ireland in the last 3 minutes.
It's good pressure from England, just forcing the ball back, but good patience by Northern Ireland.
Really well read by the 2 England defenders, Hartman and Gibson in there. So they get another chance. It's a good throw in from the back line, but that's not quite lifted it enough.
Just a little bit weak in the shot.
Good overlap there between Oslo and Marshall. Well picked up McGee. Straight down the court. Well played, Northern Ireland.
Unfortunately, just not able to reward that good passage of play with a goal.
So into the last 5 minutes of this third quarter. Huge amount of athleticism being shown by Cardwell there as well.
So flexible.
Another good goal there by Cardwell, 45. We've now got a lead of 13 for England against Northern Ireland. Quick hands there by Marshall, but Hanlon has it. Good England pressure, forces a 3-second turnover.
And they've just put the foot down in the last few minutes at the end of this third quarter, put a bit of pressure on and stretched out that gap. Now out to 13 of a difference. It's a lovely long ball.
And it's those long balls which are really opening up the court for England.
Absolutely, I think that coupled with the pinpoint feeding that Haythorne Thwaite is finding the free side of Cardwell every time.
So 15-goal game now. Just under 3 minutes to go. Unfortunate.
Just not able to keep her balance there. She took that ball at quite some speed. That's
Well, she's up and she's smiling, Natalie Haythorne-Waite. And we're going to bring the ball out. Marshall picked it up on the edge there.
Great turnover ball there and speed of transition up the court all the way through to Cardwell.
And we'll have a look at Cardwell's shooting again after third quarter timeout, but she's been pretty accurate the whole of the game. I think she's only probably missed 2-3 attempts a goal. Three seconds called.
Yeah, it was good pressure, and you can see that Hartman mixing that up there, defending the ball from the back, and it just put McCulloch off dropping the shot.
It's a lovely feed, demonstrating really good understanding between the England goal attack and goal shooter. It's interesting, at half time Tracy Neville was saying that the team here has only been together, the squad, for 3 training sessions, and to be fair, that doesn't really show on the court.
Show, and that just shows the quality of the competition they're getting out with the England camp, that these girls can come together, the same sort of training principles and ethos, and put it out there as a team. So all credit to them and the coaching team.
Cardwell again takes England to their half century in this game, 50 playing 33, and we're into the last 30 seconds of this quarter. Again, it's consistent and continual pressure.
We shouldn't forget, Lynn, these girls have played 2 games today, so that's no mean feat at this level of competition. Every ball has still been contested, so all credit to them.
And again, it's reminding ourselves that the competition here this weekend has 5 of the world's top 12 teams playing in it, which is pretty impressive, and they're all playing each other. So even at the World Netball Cup, you don't necessarily get that level of competition all the way through. So
absolutely
it's pretty intense and hopefully effective in terms of preparation.
Absolutely not in the current format is that will not happen. We won't have the 4 nations from the 4 home nations represented at the World Cup because of the qualification system at the moment. We'll have 3 of the 4 heading out to Liverpool in England in 2019.
So I suppose in some ways it's a bit not a luxury for England netball, because clearly they've earned their right to be 3rd in the world and they're hosting the competition as well. But the additional pressure, which is also on other 3 home nations, so Scotland, Northern Ireland and Wales, to come out of the competition this weekend, to know you're heading to the Commonwealth Games in April, but having to go to Perth to fight for that weekend between the 3 of you, knowing that one team, even though you're ranked that highly in the world, will not be playing in the premier competition that we host as a netballing world.
It's incredible, isn't it? It is disappointing, and as one of the home nations, obviously here part of Netball Scotland, we know the pressure that brings to us as a governing body. We want our girls out there in the world stage. We feel they merit it. We feel the Irish merit it, Northern Ireland merit it, as do the Welsh, but one of us is going to miss out, and it's happened to us before. We didn't reach Singapore. It was devastating. It takes you quite a while to recover from that, you have to. And it happened to Northern Ireland the last time in this very hall, and we stood here a few years back, and Northern Ireland did not qualify and get out to Australia, so it is tough.
It is really absolutely tough. And remember, if you're watching us at home on social media or the BBC Sport, send us your tweets and keep us up to date with your thoughts. Joanne Whitfield, I totally agree, great play between the England shooters, they're playing fantastically. Colleen Duffy clearly supporting Northern Ireland, really believes in the team. I think we feel the same, pulled away a little bit in those last few minutes, but it's been really good interplay all through. So please keep sending your tweets into us. We'll do our best to read them out. And remember, use our hashtag NEOpen for your comments and thoughts on the game here in Cardiff. So we will shortly be heading into the last 15 minutes. Possibly some changes both sides?
Yeah, I would expect to see some changes. I think we're looking at the England bench. There's quite a lot of conversations going on, and maybe we'll see some fresh legs. As we've said already, these girls have played a game earlier today, and that's no mean feat. At this level of competition, they're still all challenging every ball, so we may get to see some fresh legs coming off the bench. Northern Ireland, they've held their own. They've put a little run there from England in the last maybe 5-6 minutes of that quarter. They did put the pressure on, so let's see how the changes the coaching teams decide.
And as well as obviously the championship being at stake this weekend, every game is a ranking game, and every game affects your position internationally. So
absolutely,
keeping them close, playing teams that are above you, getting the results, it's all really important.
That's very important, and we're all very aware of that in the world stage. We're here this weekend with the 7th, 8th, 10th, 12th team, and obviously 3rd in the world. So it's amazing, as you've said, Lynn, to have 5 of the top 12 ranked teams here in the world is a fantastic level of competition for Netball Europe and Welsh Netball to be hosting. And we're seeing some really interesting changes walking onto court from Northern Ireland here. We're seeing a complete switch of position for Nolene Lennon. We've seen her heading here before, but here she goes. Fresh from goalkeeper all the way up to goal shooter. We have we've got Una McCulloch has gone out to the wing attack, and we see the reintroduction of Lisa Bowman back onto goal attack.
I think it's Kyla Bowman.
It is indeed, sorry, Kyla Bowman. Just trying to look at all the other changes.
So Gabby Marshall's gone back to centre and switched with Pangari, who's now at wing defence. Good interception there by Gabby Marshall. Interestingly, Tanya Obst, who's joined England for this tour, is judged to have decided to leave her 3 attackers, wing attack, and goal shooter on for the whole game, probably to help them with their consistency.
Absolutely,
see how they cope
I can
with
understand that. That's, you know, it's a good testing ground. We've got very experienced Northern Ireland defenders up against. We've got Gemma Gibney coming back on to court at goalkeeper when we've seen Lennon gone up to goal shooter. And here she goes, just about to put her first shot up.
There she goes, and we see now Summer Artman's moved out to go defence, and England have brought on Leah Kennedy at the back. So Haytham-Waite with the ball. Lawler and McGee now in the shooting circle for Northern Ireland. 52 goals placed, 34 Northern Ireland centre pass. Montgomery in there at centre.
Oh, that's a great offensive rebound by Helena, but just deemed to have made a foot fault as she took the ball.
England's speed of bringing the ball through in transition.
Great support there in the wing D position by Panagari to back up in the transverse.
Cardwell again. McGee too close for the umpire. Northern Ireland bring it down. That's a great ball into Lennon under the post. Interesting transition from goalkeeper, goal defence down to the other end.
Not an easy thing to do.
Well held, unlucky. Haytham-Waite.
Yeah, I think that's the pressure that Lawler put on her. We're going for the flying intercept. She's just put a bit of pressure on Haytham-Waite and caused the error.
Again, great ball in there, good movement. So 54 England, 36 Northern Ireland. Hartman worked hard to win that throw-in off the back line. So as England bring the ball down, I think we can reflect on that third quarter where we felt again that the shooting by Cardwell was excellent, and interestingly did the vast majority of the shooting, so 16 from 17 shots, and Haytham-Waite 1 from 1, so very dominantly played by the goal shooter, 94% again. Drop in shooting down the other end, Jerry.
Yeah, you can see the difference again. Equal opportunities, you know, they both had 18 attempts at goal, but 94% converted by England against 61% from Northern Ireland is just the difference in the board at the end of the day.
So Cardwell again, so she'll be very pleased with her shooting stats this evening, only missing 1 per quarter so far. Obviously be the kiss of death for her, now I've said that. So even in a game where I think it would be fair to argue Northern Ireland will struggle to come back from an 18-goal deficit in the last 15 minutes. There's still a huge amount that they can take from this game and focus on the things that they need to do, particularly bearing in mind some of the things we've talked about tonight and the competitions coming up.
Absolutely, and every team here will have their quarter targets, they'll have unit targets, so they'll have gone out. I agree with you, it's, the gap is just too wide for a final quarter to have a comeback and actually win this game, but they'll certainly be looking to improve in that third quarter. They'll be looking for more than 11 goals being converted. They'll be looking to restrict England and ensure they don't get as many opportunities.
So an uncharacteristic miss by Cardwell in that game. We've got a huge amount of messages coming in from people watching either on our social media or on the BBC Sport. Tracy Richardson, it's great to have you with us. Pleased you've been able to watch both England games today. Zoe Wenham saying about Natalie being an absolute machine. I think we probably agree in the nicest possible way.
Absolutely.
I think that's a compliment for her there, and lots of really positive comments around Northern Ireland as well. People are really enjoying the live streaming, so if you're enjoying it, then please let the BBC Sport know and encourage them to continue the coverage of what we believe is the greatest sport in the world. So 58 against 37. Northern Ireland just being left a little bit in England's wake now.
Yeah, they've certainly put the foot in the gas here, and they're just looking to close this game out in style. And we see some more changes from Northern Ireland. Una McCulloch has just called time and has gone to the bench. We see the reintroduction of Niamh Cooper onto the wing attack position.
Montgomery holding onto the ball well. That pressure you can see from England defence. But great front cut again by Nolene Lennon.
It's such a confident hold by Cardwell there. She's just crying out for the ball all the time, and the England's attack are very confident in putting it into her.
So here we are, the last half, the last quarter, in the last game on day 2. I think we all look forward to the competition in the weekend so much. It just seems to fly by when we actually finally get here.
Absolutely, and it's been a pleasure to have the additional game on the Thursday, to be here and opening the Netball Europe competition by including Fiji on Thursday and providing those extra ranking matches for all the home nations. Gives us that extra day to celebrate our sport, and it's fantastic to be bringing it live streamed across the world.
So great interplay again by Haythornthwaite and Cardwell. A real feature of this game, that understanding and the ability to either take the long shot or to work it into the post.
Yeah, they're doing some great shooter to shooter, even though it's a quick pop. Perfectly placed, perfectly weighted into the space for Cardwell to scoop it in and convert again.
So off the post ball there. Penagari, Montgomery both going for it. Good recovery by Bowman. And Northern Ireland pull one back, but the gap now 62 goals to 39. The result you would have expected, Jerry?
Yeah, I mean, we're looking at, as we said, and as Tracy said in our half-time commentary, it is a new combination for England as well. We are mindful it's a second game today for England. Ireland have come out fighting here today, but yeah, it's a good reflection. I'm sure they'll both go away with lots of work-ons, lots of positives as well. We've got young Michelle McGee taken to court for Northern Ireland, so both teams will have positives, and I'm sure they'll do a lot of analysis this evening to look at how to strengthen it. We're looking at one of our stars here today, Cardwell. There she goes again. Her shooting stats are going to be well in the 90s.
I think you're probably right there. So lots of comments from the viewers enjoying being able to watch on the BBC. And again, great cut to the baseline by Haythornthwaite. 65 against 39, and we're running down into the last 5 minutes of this game. It's been a really good quality game. It's been competitive all the way through, and whilst the score is reflecting that England have been quite the dominant team, actually there's been some really good passages of play from both teams.
Absolutely, and I think it's it's a duty as the other home nations to bring game to England. We've seen over many years in the past at the competitions that England have been so dominant, and I understand not the full England A squad are here today, but these girls are playing Super League, as you mentioned, Lynn. They're a fantastic representative of England, so it's great that we can have high quality games from Ireland, Northern Ireland and Scotland so far, and I'm sure Wales will do the same when they face up England.
And Bowman had a great vision there, finding Lennon under the post to pop another one through for Northern Ireland. 65 plays at 41. Good patience by Northern Ireland.
It's good defensive work by Leah Kennedy there. She just took the options away from the Northern Ireland attack.
I think the support from Welsh Netball has been great as well, hosting the event this weekend, and whilst I think some people have possibly gone home to watch the match on social media or on BBC Sport, the venue has been sold out again today, which is a credit to the support that Welsh Netball are getting from their netballing community.
Absolutely, and they've got a great workforce of volunteers here who just make these events happen. We all know how important the volunteers are to rock up and do a job.
Well, I think it's fair to say that for our sport globally, it's the volunteers that run it. If you look at how many paid officers all the countries have, it's so small compared to the hours and hours committed by volunteers.
Absolutely, it just wouldn't function without them. We'd really take our hat off and respect each and every one of them.
So Cardwell slots another very good, impressive shot into the goal, which Claire McIntosh would agree on. She thinks that the England shooters have been amazing today.
They have been on fire.
And there we go again. I think Cardwell will be pleased with her performance. Just over 2.5 minutes to go. Great backline cut there by Bowman. 69 plays 42. Gonna go, reacting quickly. Will she pop it up again? She will. Great to hear the support from the Northern Ireland supporters there, wishing their team on. Bowman finishing strongly.
Yeah, I think we've got the Northern Ireland under-17s in the audience. Lynn, they're playing the Welsh under-17s in the morning, so we see the Northern Ireland youth team here supporting their senior girls.
So contact called. Good patience again by England in attack, finding Cardwell under the post.
Absolutely fantastic vision by Corbin.
Yeah, great drive by Haythornthwaite, even after an hour's game.
Yeah, that girl has put a shift in. She's been outstanding this afternoon.
So with just a minute to go on the clock and a 30 goal difference between the two teams, let's see what Northern Ireland can do in the closing part of this game. That's a lovely fake pass by Bowman, finding Lennon.
I think Lennon will be quite pleased with the job she's done in a goal shooter. She has actually converted quite a few goals for Northern Ireland.
Another good shot. "30 seconds to go." Running out to Montgomery. Going to work for the ball there.
Great work by Panagari to steal that ball back for England. I'm sure they'll be looking to put the ball up through for a final goal.
And we're just in the dying seconds, so that is the end of the game here tonight between England and Northern Ireland, with England taking the win 75 goals to 44. So Jerry, sum up that game for me.
I think it was excellent, absolutely contested every ball by all players that took to court today, gave it their all. It was a great display of fight and grit and determination. All credit to England, 2 games in the one day. I take my hat off to them, that's fantastic, you know. And Natalie Haythornthwaite for me was a playmaker and absolutely dominant, not taking away anything from that superstar shooter they have there. And lovely to see the young Ireland players coming off the bench too. So yeah, great game, great display of our sport.
So Jerry, thank you very much for being with us this evening. Really appreciate your support. My thanks to all the commentators and all our partners today. Thank you for those of you who are at home watching. For all those who are contacting us on Twitter, please keep the conversation going using our hashtag #NEOpen. And remember, if you want to watch the full match replays of all the games, go to our Netball Europe site and we will direct you from there. Keep up with all the latest videos from Netball Europe. We will be back tomorrow morning on Saturday to see the mighty Fiji take on Northern Ireland, so very quick recovery for them. Tune in to watch us at 10:30 a.m. tomorrow, Wales v Scotland at 4, and then England v Fiji at 6. I hope you've enjoyed the coverage today. It's been a pleasure to have you, and wish you a very good evening. Thank you and goodbye.